I'm really late on this, but me and everyone else watched the first trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and first of all, fuck hashtag recast T'Challa. And yes, that is for purely emotional reasons. With that out of the way, this trailer was awesome. Okoye, M'Baku, Shuri, Nakia all look to be stepping up and standing out through interesting character arcs. Namor looks like a cold royal storm that's about to come in and wreck some Wakandan shit. But most of all, this was a very needed trailer. I've been watching the MCU since I was a 10-year-old confused watching Antman wrestle a reporter in his bed that he just met. And consistently since then, the MCU was a promise. A promise of quality content. Till Ms. Marvel and Multiverse of Madness just came out. 2 MCU projects back to back that made me feel embarrassed to be a fan. So coming off of those two, this trailer was very much needed. Ryan Coogler was needed. This trailer was hope that Ms. Marvel and Multiverse of Madness was just a misstep, a low point in every great legacy. It was LeBron against the Mavericks, and now with Black Panther, we're gonna go back to being in the finals every year. That Ryan Coogler is gonna return us to peak MCU. The Andor trailer also came out. This has a chance to be the greatest Star Wars project of all time. Maybe I'm biased because to me Rogue One is the best Star Wars project of all time. Well, maybe not. The first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian was pretty good. Anyway, Andor just feels real. It goes beyond the very broad surface level themes of rebellion and oppression. It operates in the gray. It feels real in Diego Luna's performance. Its lines, I'm tired of losing, or being choked so slowly that we don't even recognize it. It's also real in that it's shot entirely on location, without using the Mandalorian volume green screen technology, which works for Mando, but for this, it brings, well, a real grittiness to the story. It's how real this show feels that's going to make it great. We're going to resonate with this show on a deeper level than the standard popcorn entries in this mega franchise. I also watched Prey. It's one of the rare movies where the first third of this movie was so good and so full of creative shots and takes that it makes up for what is a pretty anticlimactic, predictable, red shirt filled ending. Everyone should want the director here, Dan Trachtenberg, to play in your favorite franchise. The Boys, 10 Cloverfield Lane, and now Prey. He's shown he can bring a unique angle and refresh an established franchise or genre. The idea I had was for him to be the director of the next solo Incredible Hulk movie. I also watched Lightyear. What was this movie? It wasn't particularly funny. It wasn't mind-blowingly action-packed. It wasn't that deep or emotional. But most of all, it didn't feel like a Buzz Lightyear movie. It didn't feel like the movie that made Andy run out of the theater and want a Buzz Lightyear action figure. The big reveal wasn't even that impactful. Even Chris Evans didn't really add anything. He was just doing his voice. By no means was this a bad movie. It just felt pointless. I also watched The Sandman and Harley Quinn, both of which I gave up on after 3 episodes. Let's start with Harley Quinn. It's a comedy that's not that funny. The first 3 episodes of season 3 also just repeated the same arc. Harley Quinn and Ivy get into some broad strokes drama and then make up at the end and realize they do love each other still. And why is Ivy with Harley Quinn anyway? She's like way out of her league. Also, I can't get past how they butchered my dick. Now, on to Sandman. All of Neil Gaiman's adaptations so far have been cool concept with exciting actors packaged in an ultimately unengaging narrative. At least that was the case with American Gods and Good Omens, 2 shows that I stuck with. Sandman, on the other hand, has the cool concepts, but the actors are just so underwhelming, especially the lead. Maybe it's just the actor role fit, but Tom Sturridge is an extreme step down from Ian McShane and David Tennant. So yeah, the visuals and intriguing world building is there, but it's not enough to carry an unexciting story with unexciting actors. I also rewatched the original Thor. First, I just want to be clear, I did not rewatch this to wash the taste of Thor Love and Thunder out of my mouth. I still love you, Taika. Thor, like Prey, is another rare movie where the first third is so strong that it makes up for a pretty underwhelming last 2/3. There's some like really great stuff in this movie, all the way up until Thor fails at picking up his hammer in that shield base. All the realms and gods had so much grandeur and weight. The Shakespearean writing fit these characters, even if it didn't fit Chris Hemsworth as an actor. Also, what Thor did to the ice giants at the start of this movie should not have been moved past so easily. I mean, he's a straight up terrorist. I also rewatched Ant-Man and the Wasp. So there's some rumors in the next movie, Quantumania, that Scott and his daughter are going to have a rocky relationship, which would definitely be a choice because their relationship and how positive it is in this movie is definitely one of the biggest highlights. Also, I wish Peyton Reed wasn't directing this franchise. Every time I watch the Ant-Man movies, they have such a mediocre wrench to them, as if Peyton Reed is incapable of being bolder, thinking bigger, which ultimately wastes such cinematic ideas like the quantum realm and Pym particles. I also watched The Gray Man, and maybe we don't want the Russo brothers to direct Secret Wars. I had like 10 paragraphs worth of thoughts on this movie, but I'll summarize it by saying this movie should have been way better. It had all the ingredients, but so many poor directing choices resulted in a wasted potential action movie. Also, Roger Jean-Paul can't act for shit. Maybe he's just good at eating pussy, and for that reason, he should be the next Batman. I also started watching Shan Geo. For anyone looking to cook for themselves or trying to learn how to cook Indian food, this is your guy. I'm a complete noob at kitchening, but his videos are so easy to follow. I felt like a master chef. So far, I've cooked this, and the only piece of advice I have is use half as many onions as he recommends. Like, this motherfucker loves onions. Like, he loves onions too damn much, and you won't be crying as much if you just use half as much. I also started watching a ton of Beta Squad videos. These boys don't miss. They're way better than the Sandman, and obviously Nico is my favorite. Finally, I came back around and listened to a ton of CLB. I did not like this album when it first came out, but then I fell in love with Knife Talk. Gang shit is not at all that I'm on. I'm on some MCU, NBA, board game shit, but this song is such a vibe. It got me in the car really believing I'm on that real gang shit. Part of the reason I think this song works so well is all the artists fit together, and 21 Savage just comes into his verse so hard. Just him being there is hype enough. I'm getting bread like a gymnast.